Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about how war in other countries affects stock market. So let's get started with our today's topic. Ever pondered over how global conflicts, more specifically wars, could sway the stock markets? Our world is a complex web of interconnected economies where events in one part of the globe can have ripple effects across financial markets worldwide. Imagine viewing our planet from a bird's-eye perspective. Each country represents a node in this vast network, and the stock markets serve as the pulse, reflecting the health and vibrancy of these individual nodes. Now, introduce a disturbance such as war into this intricate system. This disruption can cause tremors which reverberate through the network, affecting the stock markets in both the countries at war and those seemingly uninvolved. Wars can fundamentally disrupt economies. They can cause instability, influence trade relations, and drastically alter the demand and supply of commodities. All these factors together can lead to significant shifts in the stock markets. Let's take a moment to understand why. Stock markets are essentially a projection of a country's economic future. When investors perceive a bright future, they invest more, driving the market up. Conversely, when they foresee instability or uncertainty, like during times of war, they might hold back or withdraw their investments, causing the market to dip. But the impact of war on stock markets is not always negative. Sometimes, wars can lead to increased government spending, particularly in sectors like defense and technology. This surge in spending can boost certain stocks and sectors, even while other parts of the market suffer. However, the relationship between wars and stock markets is not straightforward. It's a complex interplay of numerous factors, including the scale and duration of the conflict, the countries involved, and the global economic climate at the time. In essence, wars act as catalysts, accelerating underlying trends and exposing vulnerabilities in economies and stock markets. They are reminders of our interconnectedness and the delicate balance that holds the global economy together. In the next few minutes, we will delve into historical examples to understand this complex relationship. Let's travel back to the 1940s, a period marked by World War II. How did this global conflict impact the US stock market? Picture this. The year is 1940. The United States is on the brink of joining a war that's already ravaging Europe and Asia. The uncertainty of the situation caused stock prices to spiral downwards. Investors were scared, pulling their money out of the market, fearing the worst. But as the United States entered the war, a surprising turn of events took place. The war effort led to an increase in industrial production. Factories were working round the clock, churning out everything from tanks to ammunition. This surge in production led to a decrease in unemployment, putting money back into the pockets of the American people. And as a result, the stock market began to recover. As the war progressed, so did the economy. Despite the devastation overseas, the United States remained relatively unscathed. The homeland was untouched, preserving the nation's infrastructure and allowing the economy to grow. The war had inadvertently turned the United States into the world's leading industrial power. By the end of the war, the United States was in a unique position. Europe and Asia were in ruins, needing everything from food to construction materials to rebuild. The United States, with its intact infrastructure and booming production capabilities, was ready to supply these goods. This led to an economic boom and subsequently a stock market boom. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a key indicator of the stock market, grew by an astonishing 130% in the 5 years following the end of the war. The United States economy was thriving, and the stock market was reflecting this growth. The World War II experience teaches us that while war initially brings uncertainty and fear, causing a decline in stock prices, it can also lead to economic recovery and growth in the long run. The war had transformed the United States from a struggling economy into a global superpower. Despite the initial shock, the US stock market eventually bounced back and even thrived after the war. Fast forward to 1990. The world was witnessing the Gulf War. What repercussions did this conflict have on global stock markets? As the world watched the Gulf War unfold, the global stock markets held their collective breath, and for a good reason. The Gulf region, as we know, is a significant oil-producing area. The war sparked an initial panic, causing a sharp dip in the markets. Investors, concerned about the stability of the region and the potential impact on oil supplies, scrambled to adjust their portfolios. In August of 1990, when Iraq invaded Kuwait, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged by over 6% in just 3 days. It was a reaction to the uncertainty of the situation, a testament to how geopolitical events can shake even the most robust markets. But the key story here isn't just about the panic. It's also about the oil price shock. The Gulf War disrupted oil production in the region, leading to a surge in oil prices. In October of the same year, crude oil prices doubled from their pre-war levels. This spike had a ripple effect on global economies and, by extension, the world stock markets. Industries heavily dependent on oil, like transportation and manufacturing, felt the squeeze and their stocks took a hit. Yet, the narrative doesn't end there. Despite the initial shock and the oil price hike, the markets began to recover. By the end of 1990, the Dow had recouped its losses and even gained some ground. The fear subsided and investors started to regain their confidence. The markets, it seemed, had adapted to the new normal. This recovery was a testament to the resilience of the global financial system. It showed how markets could adjust to geopolitical shocks, how they could absorb the impact and then bounce back. The Gulf War taught us how quickly the markets can adapt and recover, even in the face of severe disruptions. Indeed, it was a powerful lesson in the dynamics of war and its impact on the global stock markets. The year 2003 saw the onset of the Iraq War. How did this war influence the US stock market? Let's delve into this significant chapter of world history and its impact on the financial markets. As the United States launched its offensive against Iraq, the initial reaction of the stock market was one of fear and uncertainty. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a barometer of American stock market health, took a dive. Investors were jittery, unsure of what lay ahead. The apprehension was palpable, and the market reflected this unease. However, this initial dip was short-lived. As the fog of war cleared and the initial shock subsided, the market began to adjust. Investors started to see beyond the immediate chaos, and the focus shifted to the potential economic implications of the war. The defense sector, in particular, saw a surge in stock prices, as did the oil and gas industry. But the effects of the Iraq War weren't confined to these sectors. The Federal Reserve, America's central bank, took proactive steps to stabilize the economy. Interest rates were cut, making borrowing cheaper and stimulating investment. This monetary policy move, coupled with the market's adaptability, led to a rebound in the broader stock market. In fact, from 2003 to 2007, the Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed steadily, reaching new heights. This period of growth showed that, despite the turmoil of war, the market could be resilient. So what can we take away from all this? The Iraq War, like any significant global event, sent shockwaves through the stock market. There was fear, there was uncertainty, but there was also resilience and adaptation. It's a testament to the inherent dynamism of financial markets, their ability to weather storms and find opportunities amidst chaos. In conclusion, the Iraq War presented a challenging environment for the US stock market. Yet it also showcased its resilience and adaptability. Even in the face of global conflict and uncertainty, the market found a way to grow, underscoring its innate ability to bounce back. The Iraq War showcased the resilience of the US stock market amidst global conflict. As we have seen, wars can leave a significant imprint on stock markets. But what are the key takeaways from our discussion? War and stock markets, two seemingly disparate concepts, yet intricately linked in ways that affect economies and individuals alike. Let's take a minute to summarize the key points that we've discussed so far. Firstly, it's important to understand that the onset of war often brings with it a cloud of uncertainty. This uncertainty can lead to initial panic in the markets, causing stock prices to plummet. We saw this happen during World War II, the Gulf War, and the Iraq War. Investors unsure of the potential impact of the conflict may decide to sell off their stocks, leading to a sharp drop in market prices. However, as we've seen, this initial reaction is often short-lived. As the fog of war lifts and the situation becomes clearer, markets begin to adapt. Investors start to look beyond the immediate conflict and focus on the potential for economic growth and recovery. In fact, in the aftermath of these wars, the stock markets not only bounced back, but often experienced significant growth. This resilience of markets in the face of adversity is a testament to their inherent strength and adaptability. But perhaps the most important lesson to take away from our discussion is the importance of long-term investing. The stock market is not a static entity. It ebbs and flows, influenced by a myriad of factors, including wars. However, history has shown that despite these fluctuations, the overall long-term trend of the market is upward. For investors, this underscores the importance of staying the course and not being swayed by short-term disruptions. While wars can cause initial disruptions, history has shown us that stock markets are resilient and have the potential to recover and even thrive in the aftermath of conflict. So that's all for today. If you like our video, then like this video, and if you want more video like this, then please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.